So, hello there and welcome to Full-Time Devils. We are straight off the back of Manchester United in their action against Brighton. It's finished full-time 3-1. So much additional time, but we're going to get through to your calls, and your calls are very necessary. We'd love to have a chat with you. 0345 111 7625 is the number. Come and have your say, and a little chat will be perfect to finish off this little game. Let's have a chat with our kid. My name is Joe. We're going to be here until all the way about R4 if you're watching this in real time, just before obviously the big game where you've got the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But our kid, 3-1 win for United. How are you feeling after that?
Buzzing, mate, especially after getting beat by Bournemouth last week, and I sort of expected us to get the result during in the Europa League. And today I was a little bit nervous. I thought Brighton, they were an informed team, they could have come to Old Trafford and got something, especially the way our season's gone. And I thought today it was the first time of sort of seeing the dynamics of Martial and Rashford playing off each other like a real pairing, because I think a lot of times this season when they have played together, they've been getting in each other's spaces. But Martial played like a proper number 9 today and was more like a target man and allowing Rashford to run off him. It's a shame Rashford missed a couple, because we could have been going in with 5-1 win. But yeah, you take it all day long, mate. Yeah,
certain players that stood out for you. Who do you think was your sort of man of the match? Say?
It was nice to see Bradley Williams to make his full debut. So for him, I'd like to probably give him a man of the match, to be honest, just for the magnitude of the game and coming in, playing a full 90 minutes. Thought McTominay was solid as usual. But yeah, it was a decent performance. I think Martial as well up front was top.
Yeah, so we're going to talk in for the next half an hour with you to have your chat about Manchester United against Brighton. Adam McCall will be down for Full-Time Devils doing fan cams as we speak. But if you're watching at home or not at Old Trafford and want to have your say about this game, this is what we do now for the next half an hour. Me and you and our kid, we have a chat. The number is 0345 111 7625. It is along the bottom of your screens if you miss it. And come and have a chat like Ben has done. Ben is the first caller on today's show. Hello, Ben. You alright, mate?
Hello.
Ben, so take the wheel. Ben's at the wheel. What do you want to say about that game, mate?
I just want to say I was extremely impressed with how many chances we created. It's not often that we can sit back and say we could have scored 5 or 6 in that game. And as well, at Old Trafford, scoring more than 1 for the first time since Chelsea. Not half bad.
Yeah, let's start and maybe talk about the chances that we missed. Some people are saying it in the comments. I mean, we don't want to be negative, but is it just the fact that some United players are getting, with the games underneath them, maybe a bit more clinical? That's what maybe some United players need to be.
I think, definitely need to work on our finishing at times. But the thing is, though, we're creating a lot of chances, and I feel it's a lot easier to train finishing than it is to train awareness and positioning. So with Marcus, only 22 still, got a lot of potential, and he only scores goal of the month winners, really.
Yeah, indeed. Was there any players that you thought could have stepped up a bit more today? I mean, let's just say this is a big win for Manchester United because it just gets the ball rolling a bit. Do you give yourself a bit more confidence then as a United fan that maybe this is a step in the right direction?
Oh, it's definitely a lot better than we've seen a lot of the season. Well, I went to my first Old Trafford game when I went to see Partizan, and well, it's looking a lot better than it was earlier in the season, to be honest. But I think that everyone had 6 or 7s at least today. Yeah.
Well, Ben, thank you very much for being our first caller. Ben's our first caller. You keep calling, by the way, 0345 111 7625. The more you call, the better we can have this chat with you. And this is your the fanzine. We've got Wayne. Hello, Wayne. You okay, mate?
Yeah, fantastic, gentlemen. Isn't it nice and refreshing to go to Old Trafford today to see some free-flowing, attacking football with a centre forward up front that can hold the ball up and bring people into play, because that's what I think it's all about. Rashford is obviously not, for me, a centre forward that can actually hold the ball up, but Martial can. And I think them two work together beautifully. So there's a lot of pluses.
Yeah.
I'm just still not 100% certain about the central midfield. I think McTominay is playing well out of his skin this year from what I've seen of him. But what do you think of Fred, gents? I can't really work out what sort of player he is.
I've been a bit of a critic of Fred, as many United fans have. But I think today for the pass for Rashford's goal, I thought it was great. When he's directing and he's moving forward with the ball, and he hasn't got a lot of time to think, I think he's decent. But when it can be a bit laborious when he doesn't know what to do, when he's sat back.
It reminds me of like a central midfield player, holding central midfield that's not allowed to do what he wants to do. I mean,
do you think he's being restricted then by Ollie? Is that what you're thinking, or do you, what?
I personally think so. Yeah, I mean, when I've seen him play for Shakhtar, and I've watched a lot of him on YouTube and stuff, the guy was absolutely amazing. He could pass pass like Carrick. He could, and I think he has to do that now for us. He has to start taking control of that midfield and start passing and spraying the ball about and giving us options. As soon as he gets the ball, there is a lot of. But I mean, where does Pogba fit in now? Because I look at Pogba and I think to myself, what a world-class player he is, but we haven't seen the best of him really at Old Trafford, have we?
Wayne, what's the question you want to ask then to United fans? Because you kind of had at the tip of your tongue there about Pogba. Is there a certain thing that's playing on your mind? Does he fit into the United team now? Does he come in? Does he automatically get a space? Because he is, like people may say, one of our best players. Is that the kind of question you wanted to ask? Because we are on the phone in and a lot of people can answer it for you.
Yeah, I just don't get. I mean, he only played him sort of like with McTominay, two central midfield players.
Yeah.
We've had him playing up as an attacking midfield player, but I just don't think he fits into our system at all now this year.
Well,
I really don't.
Wayne, thank you very much for your call there. Wayne had a cracking point there about Pogba, and maybe the phone lines might want to open. By the way, if you call him, because we've got so many people calling in, we might struggle to get you on in the next couple of minutes, but keep calling because we are here till 4:30. Arcade, your initial thoughts on Wayne's sort of suggestion that does Pogba get the straight back onto the team sheet?
I think he probably does get back on the team sheet just due to how thin the numbers are, and it is, like Wayne was saying, that midfield is always tends to be a question game after game. He's better than Fred, so I think just by that he'll get back in. But it's the longevity, I think. I think Ollie's quite loyal to his players, but I don't think Pogba will be as loyal to him. So, but for me personally, if Pogba does want to be leaving at the end of the season, then why would you all put him back in to build a team around him?
Indeed. Right, our kids had to say on Pogba. Please have your say. 0345 111 7625. Come to these calls quick and fast because we've got Dan in Blackburn. Hello, Dan, mate. You okay?
Are you alright?
Dan, what do you want to say today on Full-Time Devils, mate?
Well, just to follow on from your point about Pogba, I mean, obviously, when he's fit, he comes back into the team, but I'm really not interested in him anymore. I mean, he's tried to leave the club more than once. He's going to leave at the end of the season, so I just really don't care. It's become a saga with him that he wants to go somewhere flashier. He wants that kind of thing. Then just go. Just let us carry on. Let us look for somebody else to put in his place, and that's done. But just on a positive, the McTominay, I think, just proves the critics wrong all the time, especially a lot of people who, because Mourinho put him in the team, he got a lot of stick for that, and I think that was because basically it didn't fit the narrative that Mourinho doesn't promote youth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Created his own little award for him as well, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but I think he's done great, and long may it continue, and hopefully that injury isn't too bad. But yeah, I mean it's more positive, obviously, than it's been recently. There's still problems. I still think there's quite a few players that potentially would just be squad players, could be replaced, but it's better than it has been. It's a victory. It's a few goals that we don't often see. So let's just hope that there's some confidence comes from this, and they can sort of kick on and carry on and push the way up that league.
Dan, meant to have you on and giving that little positive light there, but do you agree with his thoughts on Pogba? I'm kind of inclined to think about what Dan's saying is the truth now. If it's going to disrupt the team, then does Pogba really fit, or should we cash in? As some people are saying in the comments, if you want to comment, I will be reading some of them out, but I'd love to have your chat, have your say. Actually coming on the phone, we have got Sam, who's calling from America. Hello, Sam, you okay?
Sam.
Oh, Sam is just a split second, Sam. We have just lost him a tiny bit, but never mind. We'll get to him soon. But let's just have a chat then between us about the key players that Manchester United need to move forward. When you've seen the link-up play between Rashford and Martial, Arkid, is that the sort of the future? And is that the sort of way United can move on and be not world-class, but still fighting for that European spot?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my biggest concern this season when they got rid of Lukaku was where the goals going to come from, and I was always a bit dubious whether that would be a partnership that could work. But today, Martial really played well as the target man, and I think the majority of people will agree that Rashford is better playing off a centre forward rather than being the main man going forward. So I think if we can get them two clicking, but it's the creativity behind them that we need to create chances, because the two goals that we got, the first two goals were quite scrappy from Pereira. So I think where we're going to create them chances, I think we've got a really hard game coming up against Sheffield United in a couple of weeks, and they're going to be great set up, really tight at the back. So it's breaking them down that I think is going to be an issue.
Sam, there, I think we got you back, Sam.
Yeah, have you then?
Sorry, mate, that was completely our fault. Have you got the radio? Have you got us on? Can you turn it down for us? Get a bit of weird feedback.
Oh yeah, sorry. Is there a bit of an echo again?
Yeah, there's a bit of an echo, but Sam, we've got you loud and clear now.
Yeah, good. Sorry about that, guys.
Sam, talk to us about Manchester United then.
All right, yeah. So look, I think that was a really solid performance. Albeit a poor Brighton, but look, that was a fire that we haven't seen in a long time. Probably since the Chelsea game, I would say. But look, I think Martial was good. He really I think his presence, it honestly creates space in those wider areas for James and Rashford to work into. Still not totally convinced of Pereira in that number 10, but just to add on to that conversation about Pogba, look, he's been professional. He's not being a complete disruptive force like Lukaku was towards the end there. So once he's fit, just slot him back into the team. We can. He can do us a good bit of good. Or excuse me, sorry, that was atrocious. He can do us a lot of good. Impressed with Fred. Concerned about McTominay. I had a pretty decent angle of it on my TV.
Yeah,
he went over on his ankle pretty badly. But yeah, so there's concern there. I've always said we're always one injury away. With the depth that we have, a poor depth. We're always one injury away from dropping back, into that poor run of form.
Sam, what did you think about the way we got back? When Brighton got their first, when they got their goal, were you impressed about how United got back on and scored their third quite quickly? Because a few games ago, we could have easily expected Brighton to go on getting an equaliser after that.
Absolutely. I thought it looked a little bit in that same vein. Towards the beginning of the first half, like the first couple of minutes, we looked like we were struggling to get settled in. But yeah, no, I was very happy about how we pressed, throughout that second half. And, we've always said, that we're always sort of a one-half team. That definitely wasn't the narrative today. We looked solid, throughout the whole 90 minutes. Obviously at the back there, we've had trouble, falling asleep on set pieces, balls into the box. But yeah, there's always going to be areas for improvement.
Sam, thank you very much for calling us from America, and we hope that McTominay, like Sam just brought up then, it will be doing all right. I mean, updates on Full-Time Devils Twitter as well if we get any news about that. Sam, thank you very much for calling all the way from America. Wherever you're watching, give us a chat. We're here for about another 20 minutes. Just a new thing for Full-Time Devils. You might have known that this was a regular show on a Thursday, me sitting here with Webby and a special guest just talking to you guys for an hour. Well, now we're going to try and do it after every single game, bringing you your thoughts straight onto the channel Full-Time Devils. If you're not at the ground or can't speak to Makola, it doesn't mean you can't have your say, and this is what it's about. Right, I've got someone on the line. Is it Uchi or Ook? Or I'm so sorry if I've got it wrong. No, he's not there. Hello, Ook? No. We're gonna have to bring on Keith. Keith, let's have a chat with you, mate. Let's bring on Keith. Hello, Keith. Keith, what's going on?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, you're all right, Keith. Sorry, man. I just started shouting at you for no reason. Keith, you're on Full-Time Devils, mate. What do you want to say?
I just wanted to talk about all his tactics today. I think spot on.
Spot on.
He's kind of changed it a bit now. Now that Martial's come back, it feels like we can score goals and create. His hold-up play is amazing. It's the best I've seen in ages.
And do you think that is what's going to be crucial to United, is keeping Martial fit for the rest of the season?
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that. We should have, as soon as Lukaku went, we should have signed a replacement in Mandzukic or someone like that. But no, we're going to have to live with it now. But yeah, Martial is really key to the way we play. I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, and what about his link-up play with Rashford? Can you see that being a partnership for a long time?
Yeah, I could see it being a partnership for about 8 or 9 years.
It's a long time. It's a long time now. It could be the future of Manchester United. Was there any players that kind of you thought, they could have really stepped up a bit? I mean, one of the callers before, Lindelof.
Yeah, I don't like him, to be honest. Last season I liked him, but I don't know what it is this season. I think he has to step his game up a bit because he's with a good centre-back partner now.
Yeah.
I think at the moment, for me, he's lost his place to Rojo. I'd rather have Rojo there.
I mean, Rojo's done a full 180, hasn't he, when you think about Rojo, considering. But Keith, for you, I mean, what did Williams do for you today? I'm obviously starting a youngster into this United ranks, but a bit of positivity from that.
He's amazing. He's better than Luke Shaw at the moment, 100%. And I'd start him when Luke Shaw and Ashton are both fit as well. So
yeah, he's done enough to sort of cement that as his own place, hasn't he, over the last couple of games.
Wait, what did you say?
I said he's done enough, hasn't he? The games that he's played against Chelsea and today to sort of cement him on his own place. Because Luke Shaw, a long time injured, and I don't think Luke Shaw has ever really impressed in that left back role, to be honest.
The injury's done him no favours, Luke Shaw. Not really, and the lack of consistency, and Mourinho as well. He kind of ruined his confidence. It's a mixture of all things, isn't it? That's the reason why he can't really get into this team.
Yeah, indeed. Keith, so finally then, you're looking at the next couple of games, Manchester United. Oh, there's a friend there joining you. You're looking at the next games for United. You've got some Europa ties. You've got Sheffield United, next weekend. And then you've got Astana, Villa. I mean, the next 3 games, you would say, should be 3 out of 3, you'd hope. I
think we'll draw against Sheffield United. And then the other 2 should win. But I'll take 7 points out of 9, I guess.
Yeah, would you? I mean, Arkid, are you looking at them 3 next games? Sheffield United, they did all right yesterday.
Yeah.
A good team
They should have beat Spurs yesterday.
Yeah, they should have beat Spurs yesterday.
Yeah, VAR's a joke, isn't it? Like, it was like his toenail or something.
Yeah, VAR is a joke. If anyone's watching from Old Trafford as well, because VAR, you haven't got in Old Trafford, you can't actually see what's going on sometimes.
There needs to be a big screen or something at Old Trafford if they have VAR.
Yeah.
Some other grounds do it.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it in other grounds. Right, Keith, thank you very much for your call, mate. And cheers for giving us a call on Full-Time Devils. Listen, we've got about 15 minutes left before the big game that you would say over the weekend, which is Liverpool City, and we'll let you watch that. But if you can give us a call, because we are talking about Manchester United against Brighton, is a home win, 3-1. I mean, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, because we got ahead of ourselves last week, and we were talking here, our kid, on a defeat to Bournemouth. When do you start to think that, you see shining lights in this squad and you think, maybe this is the way United are going to move on now? Or are we going to just be accepting defeats all the way through the season?
I think the best way to do it would be to accept that we are going to get defeats throughout the season, and maybe I don't think we're going to go on any massively impressive runs, but I think what might be our saving grace is that teams like Spurs and Arsenal are having such a bad season that if we can get better than them, then we might have a chance to get into the top 6. It's just going to be peaks and troughs all season, I think. So just to get to the end of next season, I don't know if we'll invest that much in January. What do you reckon, Joe? We probably could do with another striker, but I think that could be another undoing, like the guy was saying before. Martial gets injured. Or McTominay, it's completely knackers the team up.
I'd worry about what our form was in December. Obviously, I brought you the sort of next 3 games, but you look at December, Spurs is our first game, City then on the 7th of December. You've got a Europa League tie chucked in there, you've got a quarter-final of the Football League chucked in there, your game against Everton, and then you go into the December sort of Christmas period, which is Watford, Newcastle, Burnley, Arsenal on New Year's Day. So that sort of crazy December period of Watford, Newcastle, Burnley, which is often the game, so back to back to back, and you can see that if you don't play your team right, you might struggle. But there are 3 teams you'd expect to beat.
Yeah.
I worry about the spending money in January if it will be affected by. So say Woodward's sitting there in his ivory tower and he sees us winning 3 on the bounce against Watford, against Newcastle and Burnley, goes, they'll be all right. And then by the time he realises that actually when a defeat to Arsenal comes, that we're not actually going to be okay, because then we've got Liverpool also in January, then it's too late to get the players in he needs in January. So I'm worried about what December will hold
Solskjaer must be earmarking players now, though. Looking ahead to January, he must. If he is going to buy players, he must have already put some names to Woodward for centre forwards or creative midfielders, I think.
Yeah, you'd think so, and you'd hope so. Right, can I get your man of the matches in as well as giving us a call? 0345 111 7625. Come and have a chat with us. Lord Waffle. This is what Lord Waffle's got to say. Would love to see a way to get Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, and James in a front four. Wow. And that is a big one. Another message here saying we will finish sixth in no matter what, unless we get one or two world-class players in January. And he means world-class there.
The thing is, who buys world-class players? What clubs let world-class players go or sign in January? I can't remember the last. I think we got Evra and Vidic in the January. I mean, and they weren't world-class when we signed them, were they?
They needed a half season and a full summer with United.
So I don't think we've got the money or the players are out there to be signing world-class players in January. I think it's just a matter of grin and bearing it.
Right, I think we've got a call on the line now. I'm trying to pronounce your name. Is it Uchi?
Uchi, yeah.
Uchi, right. See, I was so close, mate. Mate, you're Full-Time Devils. United have just won 3-1. What do you want to say, mate?
I just want to, how Martial up top and his link up with Rashford is, completely transforming us. If we can get them to perform consistently, how they did today for the whole season, they can probably hit the 20 goals in all competitions anyway that we need them to.
Yeah. You, as a fan watching that, it excites you, that partnership, doesn't it? Because we haven't seen kind of that for a long time.
No, we haven't. It's I think they've started to become a lot more telepathic. Yeah. They know exactly what each other's one's going to do. Like today, when you see when Martial ran up to the left and Rashford just kind of popped into the space and managed to get a shot off. The link-up play Martial was doing, drifting up wide, managing to bring in Rashford. Who else did he bring in? Fred, Pereira.
Yeah.
That kind of link-up play we haven't seen for a very long time, and it's just going to be really exciting to see how it goes. If Solskjaer can get them two playing really well, the whole team playing really well, then it will be a really good season.
I don't think it's a side that we've actually seen in Martial's game, because I know Lukaku was a target man last season, so it's been very impressive that how much he's taken on that role and really thrived in it. For me today, it was definitely the best pairing, the best time I've seen Martial and Rashford play alongside each other. I'm a bit concerned with Rashford's finishing though. He should have had an hat-trick today.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, if Rashford can actually sort out his finishing, we were all saying how Rashford is just, if he doesn't have to think about it, he can be all right. His goal today was really well taken. And then how we just missed an absolute sitter. If he can sort out his finishing, Rashford will be an elite forward, because he has everything to his game. The way he ruins that defender, we've seen it before. That's not the first time he's flip-flopped the defender.
Oh yeah, he's got skills for days.
Class.
Got a shot off or got assist off.
Let's Go on, sorry, I've interrupted you there. I just wanted to chat about Paul Pogba, because some of the callers in this sort of in this phone-in we've had already, I've brought him up, and I've brought up the fact that what is he going to do, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when Paul Pogba becomes fit again. I'd love to know your opinion on that. What do you think will happen, and what do you make of the Pogba situation at United?
I think regardless of whether Paul Pogba's leaving in January or summer, he has to play. We can't keep complaining about Lingard and Pereira and Massa and then say, oh, well, what if when Pogba comes back, where exactly does he play? Pogba is our best he's our best outfield player by a large margin. The way there was a situation where I think it was just before the goal, just before the last goal, where Pereira receives it and he runs back into trouble rather than turning into the space he had behind him and managing to get a pass off. There's other chances where he runs into the space and then he just doesn't get the pass off. He wants to have a shot. He doesn't have that kind of intelligence that Pogba has. And I think when we get Pogba, whether Solskjaer wants to keep persisting with the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3, it just having McTominay and Fred, regardless, is going to give Pogba the license to get forward properly, knowing that his offensive responsibilities are kind of covered for him.
Do you think that'd be the case though? Because before Pogba got this mysterious injury, Ole was playing Pogba a lot more deeper, wasn't it? To sort of more like a sort of sweeper role.
I think that was because that was largely due to Fred's form. For me, Fred had his best game in the United shirt today. if Fred can do that regularly, then there's no real need to play Pogba deeper as the only person who can kind of pass forwards.
Sure.
Like we saw McTominay today trying to pass forwards, wasn't always coming off. Fred has that. That's what Fred has over McTominay. So if Fred can do that, then there's no real need to play Pogba in that kind of quarterback role as the one who has to spray the passes. Because you could just have Fred spraying the passes. Pogba can sometimes drop deep, spray the passes. Or you can have Pogba as like on the edge of the D, or just kind of like in the hole, to be able to actually create chances for our forward line.
Yeah, indeed. Who's your man of the match today, mate?
I'm saying Martial.
Martial
was absolutely brilliant.
Mega, mate. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Sorry I had trouble to get you on first off, but mate, class caller there, and the callers that we'd love to get on. If you want to give us a call, be our final caller of the of today. We've only got a couple minutes left. If you can get on now, get a phone near you. 0345 111 7625. The number is just like a normal standard UK landline number, so don't worry about that. But give us a call. 0345 111 7625. You give us a call now, guarantee you'll be our last caller as we wrap things up. Manchester United winning 3-1 against Brighton. Let's go through some of these man of the matches. I want to go through Austin B says McSauce was man of the match. I mean, McTominay, key play for United. You hope the injury record isn't something serious.
No, not at all. I didn't see how bad it was, but when some of the callers said it does sound quite serious, which, considering he's been our best player for the last like 3 or 4 games this season, in fact, that would be quite worrying. So I mean, who else have they got up there for the man of the match?
So we got Shadow Fox 8882 says that it's a toss up between Martial and Fred. Peter says no, that's something about slagging off Woodward. Of course. Aiko says man of the match has to be Martial or James. It's a close second because Daniel James played an absolute stormer today. We've got many other suggestions saying Daniel James absolutely smashing it, but yet there's a good thing here where there's a couple of names floating about. Yeah,
rather than for previous games, it's quite easy to pick one, or you couldn't pick any man of the match. But yeah, so good that there's a few names being banded around. But Daniel James, I mean, he's been a revelation since he started signing for United. I think he's it was his birthday today, wasn't it?
Yes,
happy birthday, Dan James. He's gone well beyond what anyone expectations had inside and outside of the club. He's been fantastic. Martial, as I said to the caller earlier on, I'd never seen Martial as a number 9 that could hold the ball up. Do you know what I mean? I'm bringing other players on, and it really was a breath of fresh air to see today. And he was bringing Rashford into play.
So where will we be this time next week, our kid? When we play Sheffield United, we'll obviously be doing the phone-ins afterwards. Will we be talking about United win, or do you think Sheffield United carrying on their form of causing a bit of an upset with the big clubs? I
think Sheffield United have played better teams than us and got points against them. They were probably Liverpool's hardest game to date and probably should have beat them. I think they'd be set up really well, and if we've got the McTominay injury, I think we're going to struggle to try and break it down. So I think it's going to be a really hard game. I'd be happy to get a point at Bramall Lane, to be honest.
Who knows? Right, thank you very much for watching. We've been Full-Time Devils phone in, coming to you after every live game. So if you're watching the games, wherever you're watching around the world, around the UK, you want to have you say, because you can't be at Old Trafford or the away games, and you can't have a chat with McCullough, who'll be doing fan cams, and they'll be coming up shortly, by the way. This is your chance to have a say. 0345 111 7625. You get your phone, you give us a call, and we'll get you on in front of the Full-Time Devils community and the thousands that watch. So do that next week. Hopefully we'll be chatting about a United win against Sheffield United, but stay watching, subscribe and like the video as well. This has been our kid.
Nice one.
My name's been Joe, and I hope you have a wonderful evening whatever you're up to.